Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of my garden tours for April here in Zone 9B, Tampa Bay, Florida. This is our house and this is my garden, and those are a couple vultures fighting. What in the world are they doing? Who knows? Anyways, so I'm going to be walking around this side of my property now, and then the very last video will be the front yard garden tour. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what's happening back here. So don't mind this, the bunny was out here in the cage. I have this cage until I'm actually building her one, and it's not done yet. So I have her in this big dog crate. She's a little bunny, so it's fine. And I give her lots of exercise in the garden. So she was just out here basking in the open air while I was working. So over here, we start with my elderberry, and it's put on lots of new growth. Can't wait for that. Another pineapple. This is, the start of the native garden bed. All of this creeping sage is starting to come back. Once we start getting rain, this stuff will be non-stop. This is a completely non-irrigated bed. I don't water it almost at all. Like almost zero water I give this bed. I mean it. And stuff still thrives in here because it's native. So I did plant a new, what do we got in here? This is another pigeon pea. This is one of the places I put it. Got, native shrubs, beautyberry, Simpson stopper. This beautyberry is looking nice. I put a hammock here last month. I got some, what should I call it? This is bee balm, the native bee balm. It's starting to elongate again. I've got my muley grass. I don't, in this area anyway, don't take any of the dead muley grass off of the plant, because I think it holds a lot of ecological value. Animals hide in there, bugs and little creatures, bunnies, they can use that as shelter, even birds. So in this area specifically, I leave that because this is my kind of no maintenance area. The same with that one. And then there's my other beautyberry. In the pathway is another dotted horseman or bee balm. So I have my coral honeysuckle. Like I said, we haven't been getting any rain at all. So this area has kind of just stayed still. Not much has changed other than the leafing out of the beautyberry. This is the native columbine. This one gets less water than the one up front, so it's smaller. Let's see. I planted a couple yarrows there. That's new. This is, I'm going to pinch this while I'm thinking of it. This is a holy basil. There's some wildflowers in here. I think that's Dara. My swamp pot is looking good. I have some aquatic milkweed, native to Florida, and brown savory, also native to Florida. Need to water that because it is supposed to be full of water. Let's see, back up, and it looks so pretty. I love laying in that hammock. So relaxing. So this area is starting to look really green and lush. All of the amaryllis I had are blooming. This one's left, and I might have one more. We have coreopsis all about to bloom in this area. Salvia is blooming. This is a purple salvia. It's coming back to bloom. These are borage. Pretty excited about borage. That is also an edible herb. I have just a mixture of everything. I moved my, oh man. Joe Pye weed over here because it wasn't getting enough sun over there, I don't think. So we'll see. Some more salvia, some more coreopsis. There's plenty of milkweed in here that the butterflies have already been, or the caterpillars have already eaten down. You can see here, this milkweed stalk is already just a stalk and no leaves, but it's budding back out. So we're gonna leave it. Just lots of pretty wildflowers, native and some non-native, but mostly native. Stokes aster. Let's see. There's more blanket flower. There's more dotted horse mint. There is, let's see, starry rosin weed in here. This is that kind of ground cover. It's called a health aster. It's native here. I also have some white dill, some green ami, and this is, look at it. This is the white dill. So that'll be pretty. And there's also a Florida rose in there. This part of my yard is still super brown. I finally dethatched it, and I'm running the sprinkler. I'm gonna get it as green as I can to see where I need to do the most work, because I recently changed this flower bed. I will walk up there in a minute, but this area, just like I said, we haven't been getting any water, so all of that green grass there is all because I've been irrigating this flower bed. So it's naturally going to be greener along the edge of that. So in this bed, it's more native pink salvia. I actually have a couple potatoes. I just tossed those in there. Lots of basil, lots of sunflowers. There's zinnias, and then these super tiny seedlings. Those are a couple different things. There's the native anise hyssop. There's feverfew, and there is chamomile, all scattered about in here. So it's pretty bare other than the basils and the liatris that is also in there. I have some blanket flower poking through the fence. It's really pretty. And look, this tropical sage, but it's the pink salvia basically, is just self-seeding everywhere. So I'll have lots of little transplants that I can use. Like I said, more sunflowers, another salvia. So this bed is hopefully going to be packed out full of really pretty things, herbs, medicinal stuff like that. I just wanted to show you all of this. Pond is super dry right now because of the no rain, but look at all of the wildflowers. They're so pretty. It's like God put them there for me because they're only in front of my fence mostly. But that is, what is that? Fleabane. So that's a native wildflower here. So anyways, fishing poles. Coming over here, it's more of the same. There's lots of borage in here. Probably more borage than I am willing to deal with, but you know what? It's fine. Stuff has been digging a hole. This new, it's a soaker hose, has been a lifesaver because I circled it all the way down this bed. I just could not keep this compost soil, whatever, moist enough without it, and it was stressing me out, and the seeds were not doing well. So hopefully whatever comes up, oh, there's a butterfly, is because I finally put some irrigation on this bed, not just hand watering. So here in this monstrosity of a cage, I'm gonna have to do something different because I straightened out the plant and it's poking through a little bit. This is my peach tree. It's doing really well. You see it has peaches on it, but I had to do this because the darn squirrels, the bane of my existence. So you see the railroad vine is almost fully leafed out again, and this is what it does. It just creates this long vine. So all you do is pick it up and tuck it back where you want it to grow. Fill it out. It's so pretty. It's like, I like to sit there. My husband can't really come outside right now because of the pollen, so he doesn't enjoy it as much as I do. Over here, my other beauty berries. These are the oldest two I have. They're doing really well. The corky stem passion vines have been completely eaten. They'll come back though. It's not something that I'm worried about. That's just what they're here for. Let's see, in this area I have my camellia. I have, I have elderberries, 1, 2, 3 over there. In between those I have 2 oak leaf hydrangeas. They're doing really well. Muley grass, and then where else? I have these pigeon peas. So this whole area should be completely banked in by a nice green lush like wall, because like I said, I'm making that inside into like a little secret garden. I'll end up putting like chairs and stuff for the kids to play with in the inside of there. There are some wildflowers still growing up through there, and my witch hazel tree. Over here, let's see, I have some starry rosinweed, some more muley grass is kind of dotted around this area. This is my rattlesnake master, came back. I cut it back. There's a second baby one there. There's some wildflowers scattered through here. Some yarrow scattered in here. My artichokes are doing really well. This is a Gerber daisy. It's going to seed, so maybe we'll get some daisies. This one's not native, but my daughter picked this out a couple years ago and I kept it. So we're gonna leave it. That's a weed. Let's see. This keeps coming up and I'm not sure what this is. This might be another railroad vine. So we're gonna leave that and see. This is the native, I can't pronounce it. It's like moss rose, but it's not. I'll put the name of it, but it's native here and I leave it as a little ground cover because it's pretty. Like I said, there's my artichokes. They're doing really well. Putting on new leaves. It's been a challenge to keep them watered, even though they don't need a ton of water. And they should be pretty balanced in our environment here. It's not been raining at all, and I can't get the water deep enough in the soil almost. Like I said, another muley grass. So those muley grasses are going to get nice and big, and this whole area in the fall is going to be lush, and the pink plumes on the grass is so pretty. And then my firebush came back, so that's looking really well. Florida native. So this is kind of another just native, leave it to whatever nature decides happens kind of corner. It's actually a really nice day. Over here I did something different. If you look this way, I created, the shadows are kind of bad right now. but I created this new flower bed. I put a little short video of how I did that. You can check that out. It took me 20 minutes to make this whole flower bed. This longevity spinach was already there. And then I've sprinkled some of that pink salvia seeds all throughout here. And the reason I added this flower bed was to accommodate this other flatwoods plum tree. So it had space and I don't have to mow around it, and there's no grass. I have a couple papaya trees. I don't know if they're gonna stay there or not. We'll see. A couple lilies are there. They were from my grandma's yard. They're ancient. And some volunteer Everglades tomatoes. This is why I say they just do so well here. They grow like a weed, but a weed you can eat. I redid, I cannot see, I can't even tell if you can see in the camera. I redid my compost bin. Not completely, but I just made it so my neighbor didn't have to look at, you know, all my compost. This side was finished compost, but I mainly took out the pumpkins because, you know what, while they do grow over here in the hot summer when it doesn't get rain, I have to cover them with shade cloth, and they just take so much water. And you know what, I wasn't going to deal with that because I wouldn't have been able to add this flower bed. It would have looked just junky. So I took it out and I just covered the compost that was there with some leaves that I've collected. Of course, my leaf bin, and then my daughter's little corner. The Simpson stopper's doing really well. I don't see any buds on it yet. Her camellia. And then I had to cut back this salvia. It was so pretty and big. It's already coming back though, but it was full of spider mites, and that's an absolute no-no. So got rid of that. It'll come back and be pretty and blooming soon. And then of course the junk no one needs to look at, and my daughter's little splash pad. I've actually been using the water out of this to water things the last couple days so I don't waste water for Nellie. Might as well show you the porch while I'm up here. This is that jasmine that was my grandma's, a cutting from my grandma's wedding gift for when she was 16, and she's 88, so that's how old this plant is. The fire pit bed. Let's see. So the green stalks are doing really well. Got the strawberries have mostly stopped producing. They're still doing okay. They're just not producing a lot of fruit. We're pretty hot right now. So strawberry season is just about over for Florida. I'm just kind of grooming them up here. The kale, still doing really good. I just love these containers so much. I've got some herbs, some thyme, some basil, some sage. A dead arugula is going to seed down there. I've got a very hot pepper. I have no clue the name of it, but it's super tiny and it's super spicy. It looks like they're turning like purple. Oh, the dog wants in. Go on. Let's see, my key lime, my Meyer lemon, got some basil down here, my fig's doing really well, and then my other fig, my fig cuttings, my plumeria, my desert rose. These pots are looking pretty. There's some herbs in all of them, alyssum, this is a broccoli. This is a broccoli or a cauliflower. Like I said, I forgot. Basil. There's grass growing in them. And then the alyssum, and then some thyme. And this is going to seed. It's my tatsoi. This looks pretty though. I've got the oregano, basil, nasturtiums, I forgot the name of this flower, but it self-seeds and it's pretty. More tatsoi, chives, parsley, all of that. And then the very last part of my backyard, I have my lemongrass that's coming back. And then this bed I redid on a video, and it's got lots of cosmos, which are all coming up and doing really well. It's scattered all about. And then my Seminole pumpkins. So other things in here are things like salvia, goldenrod. There's still some kale and that, or mustard greens. Those are going to flower eventually. I'm going to leave that. Some salvia, a different salvia, purple one, purple hyacinth bean. Let me walk around there and show you that flower. Dill, carrots. This is the native petunia, wild petunia, Florida native. There's lots of buckwheat germinating in there. That's a primrose, blanket flower. So this is going to all be covered by the Seminole pumpkin eventually, excuse me. But until then, all these all these wildflowers are just looking really pretty. And I think this looks a lot more tidy than it did. It was looking pretty rough for a while. And then this is a native wildflower called a bearded tongue. I don't know why it's called that, but last year I had a variegated one that I bought, and it looks like I don't see any of the variegated that came back from seed. But I thought it was pretty cool. So I got that wildflower blooming, and then there's another one over here. There's a couple there. So that about does it for this yard. So it's very hot. It needs to rain. That's the backyard in a nutshell. Next I will be showing you the front yard because there's lots of stuff blooming there. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to making all the progress updates in the future. So thanks. Bye.